By the way, this is worth 5 points.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Goes
0.
watch.
8, 7,
Stand by camera 9.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Graphic out, through to
0.
9. Cue Craig.
A very warm welcome to the stoop.
And that's 45 seconds to commentary.
Stand by Z away dressing room.
40 seconds.
Run Z.
35
Z.
to commentary.
That is a lot of noise going on there. A lot of noise, but I guarantee you understand everything that is being done there.
Yeah.
Just talk us through a little bit, if you can.
So
What is going on? What are all those voices?
The main two voices you can hear. So you've got the female voice that's counting. So that's the gallery PA. So she makes sure, or he makes sure the whole show stays to time. So in that scenario, they're trying to make sure that they hit kickoff on time. So they're getting a count from whoever's doing the match as to when kickoff will be. So they're kind of obviously showing you all the pictures, and then they need to throw to the match commentators on time for kickoff. So she might be giving a count to how long you've got on those pictures before they run out. You've got to keep that count in your ear, but obviously not focus on it too much. But at the same time, that's your kind of marker as to, okay, I've got 30 seconds before I need to throw in. I need to get to these pictures by the time she gets to 0. And then the male voice you can hear is the director, which is what I do.
So that would be you.
And he's basically teeing up his cameramen or women and telling his vision mixer and the sound person and any video that they're running in that he's going to come to them next. So at the very end of the clip, they were going to run a promo. So he was saying, stand by the promo on whatever machine it is, run the promo. So it's a lot of information that you're passing in a very short space of time. So you've got to be quite efficient and succinct with your words, which I'm not being right now.
You are doing a great job. But effectively, that is what also I hear in my ear.
Exactly. And you still have to talk and look like you're not confused and listening to what we're saying.
It's a definite skill, I think, for everybody that works in TV. I think sometimes when you sit at home and you just watch telly, you think, oh, that looks easy. I'll have a go at that. But as you said, it takes an army behind the scenes.
And there's that going on behind the scenes all the time.
Yeah,
So-
that's not just the first 5 minutes. That happens for the entire... If you've got, a live game or whatever that's in total 2 hours, that's happening the entire 2 hours.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on. And that's where you kind of have to be able to multitask, because you've got to hear the information that everyone's telling you, because they're only talking to you if something's important. So, for example, the PA, you're hearing her, but at the same time, you're not fixated on it, because you've also still got to be able to think and cue other people and cue the VT or the camera that you're going to go to next. So you've got to be able to be organised. You've got to be able to prioritise. And that's how on TV it all looks really seamless and really smooth. But it's because it's that kind of joint team effort of everyone coming together that gets you there. And I think the key thing is communication, but also the key thing is keeping calm, because you're on open talkback, so everyone can hear you. It's your job to set the tone for the entire gallery.
That definitely is worth 5 points, that answer. She's off the mark. Strong start over here. Here we go. 5 written down. That's so awesome.
Get in.
I love that. Get in. Let me talk to you. What is it like being a female TV director?
It's interesting.
Yeah. Are people quite surprised when you tell them what your job is?
I think they're surprised, but not until I tell them the football part. I don't think it's surprising, just because it's an unusual job. When you then say you work in football, I think everyone's like, oh, okay, cool.
That's still something that is still it's not an issue at all. It's the wrong word, but it still is very much something that people are taken aback by.
Yeah,
that you're like,
definitely.
oh, you work in football. And then for me, like when I say, I work in football, the question I always get is, oh, do you like football then?
Yeah.
And you're like, mate, it's my job. Like,
no, I hate
like,
football.
No,
I just
hate
thought
it,
I'd
and I
work in
don't
it for
know
the...
anything about it at all. In terms of a gallery as well, what's the split like between male and female ratio? And do you feel like more women over the last 4 or 5 years are now working in galleries, perhaps from back when, if you remember your 2012 days, London 2012 days, when, all right, you were a runner, but you obviously witnessed who was doing which roles and where. Do you feel there's been progression?
Definitely, yes. especially at Premier League, I think there's an especially in the galleries as well, there's a nice healthy mix of male and female balance. I'd still say there's certain roles that are typically the majority female or typically majority male, but the balance is still quite nice within the gallery. You have a nice mix of male and female.
Would you say that your job role as a TV director is typically male or female?
I'd say it's typically male, but I'd say there's starting to be more females coming through and doing that job now.
And do you feel that that's just because there's more opportunity?
Yeah. And also, I don't think people see working in football as something that's just for men. I think more women have the confidence to go, actually, that is something that I can do. And actually, I'm really going to push for that. And you can work and work your way up and think that that is a possibility for you. Whereas before, I think maybe you wouldn't think that you could achieve that because that wasn't your role, if that makes sense. And
but
I
now
think,
possibilities are endless.
yeah, like if I was coming through now, and even when I did come through, there wasn't a role that I didn't think that I could do because I was female.
Do you feel like at all ever that, do you ever sort of stop and reflect in yourself and go, oh my God, I'm doing well here. I'm just going to put this out there.
It's really funny because no, I don't. But my boyfriend literally said the other day that I need to do that.
Oh, he sounds a keeper.
He was like, you're 29, you've been in TV now for, what are we now, 2020, so 7 years, and look where you've got to. I've worked at World Cups, I've worked at the Euros, I've been abroad for several gigs, I work for the Premier League, and I'm like a fully trained TV director. I've achieved a lot in my career, and I need to take time to look back at that and be proud of that and look at what I've achieved, because I think I'm kind of always pushing heads forward. And I think that is probably part of being in the minority in my workplace, because I kind of feel like I have to push that extra kind of mile. But at the same time, I need to take that time to look back and go, actually, I've done pretty damn well.
I know, I've done all right here. You should be proud to say that. There should be nothing wrong with that. I am all for people just being like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence, but I am all for people being confident in themselves.
I think it's quite an achievement for anyone at my age, wherever you're from or whoever you are. But I think being a female to achieve what I've achieved, I should be proud of that.
Yes, you should. Absolutely. Have you ever had an absolute disaster on the job?
As a director or just in TV?
As a director. Oh, I'm sure in TV there's loads, but no, as a director.
I've had a guest not turn up before.
Oh, no.
Which happened not that long ago, actually. So I was expecting a presenter and 2 guests. So we were in the handover between full time of one match and kickoff of the next match. And only one of my guests have arrived and the other one hasn't, and I'm like, oh God,
this is not fun.
What do I do? So we just had to we had to kind of adjust the studio so that you didn't see that there was an empty chair, and you just kind of kept it to single shots of just the presenter and the single guest, so you never actually ended up seeing that there was anyone missing. And also because the time between the end of the game and the start of the next one wasn't very long, so you kind of got your first guest kind of talking, and by that point it was time for the presenter to throw to the commentators. So we got away with it. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but that's another aspect of your job that you have to deal with as well.
And that's the thing, because you don't know until you come in. You're like, oh God, we've got somebody missing. And then you're thinking on the spot. But again, that's where it comes down to, like, you've got to make the decision as the director. And you've got to stay calm, because otherwise everyone else panics. So as long as you make the decision, you go with it, and you stay calm and you communicate what you want, then everyone else just has to follow your instructions.
Yeah. Your voice is very calming. Like, you do stay very calm quite often. It's wonderful. It's very reassuring, let me tell you. Right, let's move on to our second game. There you go. Take a quick swig of water. This game is called The Wrong Answer is Right.
Oh God.
Okay, now you should be quite good at this.
This is where my mind is going to go blank.
No, but this is where you've just described to me how you've got to be quick thinking and adapt and stay calm under pressure.
Okay, all of the things that I do in my job, I can't actually do outside of my job. I'm like the worst organised person, the worst communicator outside of the gallery. But I'm great at it when I'm in the gallery.
In the gallery, you're on it. Well, let's see how you get on with this. So we're going to do 45 seconds on the clock. And all you have to do is give me an incorrect answer. Okay? It's all sport related. Right.
Oh,
we're going to do 45 seconds on the clock here. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1. What sport does Cristiano Ronaldo compete in?
Badminton.
Ooh. Name a Premier League team.
Roger Federer.
What?
I don't know.
The LA Lakers and New York Knicks play which sport?
Tiddlywinks.
Chris Wilder is the manager of which team?
Boston Celtics.
Which sport has positions called wing attack, wing defence and centre?
Hockey.
If you win a race or a competition, what position have you come?
9th.
Yeah. What do you play football on?
The ceiling.
What does VAR stand for?
Vile apple rind.
Okay, how many sides are there on a square? We are done. I'll let you go. Go on, I'll let you answer that.
5.
Correct.
I didn't even hear the question. Oh my god,
Tiddlywinks.
that's really difficult.
Isn't it hard?
That's so difficult because when you're under pressure, you're literally like, I want to blurt out the first thing that comes to mind.
I know. But I think adding it up, what do you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not bad. 8. We'll take that.
Oh
We'll
my
take
god. That was really hard.
I know. Take a moment, breathe, recover. Look, with this, I want to help others perhaps get into the job role. Mm-hmm. Now, TV directing, it sounds quite complicated, but it's so achievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
What sort of tips and advice can you perhaps pass on to other people? What is a good starting point to get into this job?
Just basically get loads of experience, and it doesn't matter where you get it from. So if you're doing student media, if you're even if you're studying something else, or you've just come out of school, just try and get in at a local TV station or a production company and just get that experience. Like I said, being the runner was probably the best job I ever did. You could talk to everyone, you could go into every edit suite, you could go everywhere, you can see everything, and it gives you an opportunity to find out what each role does and find what you think you'd want to pursue. So I never saw being a runner as being bottom of the rung. I saw it as I actually get the coolest job because I can go everywhere. Whereas if I'm an editor, I'm stuck in my edit suite. Or if I'm a director, I'm stuck in my gallery. I was a runner, I could go everywhere and I could talk to everyone. So take that opportunity and use it to talk to people and find out about their job. And then once you know what you want to go in, just badger the people that do it already to get more and more experience.
Is shadowing a good way to do that as well? Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, some of it is luck because you ultimately need somebody to give you an opportunity. But if you shadow enough and the people that are mentoring you are good trainers, they will give you a chance to have a go at it either during a live show or during a rehearsal or something that kind of gives you a taste for what it's actually like. I do feel like
everyone within our industry wants to give other people a chance.
Yeah.
Like when someone walks into a room for whatever job role, everybody wants that person to be really good and do well. And like I sometimes feel like people think, oh god, it's really hard, it's a closed door, and it is, but at the same time everyone is so wanting other people to do well.
It is if you don't talk to anyone.
Yes.
Because it's no one's going to kind of come up to you and say, this is what I do, come and do what I do, kind of thing. You've got to go looking for it. So there is an element of hard work, but I think if you talk to people, tell them what you're interested in, tell them what you want to do, and especially nowadays where you've got work experience opportunities and apprenticeships and trainee schemes and all of that kind of stuff, have a look at what is available in different production companies, and then it's just a case of like working your way up. So if you know
it's being
already,
patient as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and experience speaks a lot. It's not just about ticking off one thing and saying I've done that, now next thing. Doing it 10, 20, 30 times gives you such a body of foundation that you build on that you need to move on to the next step. It will make you a better director if you've done 50 shows. And I'm not the best director I can be now, but I won't be in 10 years time, but I'll be better than I am now. And you kind of keep building on your experience. What
things do you know now that perhaps you'd known when you'd started out?
The hours.
Yeah. What are the hours? Because they're not 9 to 5, are they?
No. So day shifts, we are in at 9, and on a good day, we're done by 6:30, which I think is about 9 hours or so. But if you do the match days at the weekend, you're in at 9, and sometimes you're not done till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it's a 12-hour day.
But also, it's not the same set days every week, is it?
No, and you don't know your rota beyond a month normally, so you kind of know what you're doing for the next month, but it will change from week to week. So one week you might be doing a certain number of days, the following week you'll do a different set of days, and you still get your 2 days off, but you don't get them sometimes together, sometimes they're split up. So it's a toll on your life in that sense if you see it in that way, but if you enjoy what you do, it's totally worth it.
Absolutely, 100% worth it, isn't it? And